I was not planning on making this video because we don't know if recombinators are still going to be available in the next league. But since the league has been delayed by a couple of months, and seeing that the PoX private league is very popular at this moment, I decided to make a guide on how to use recombinators. However, this is going to be a very basic guide. If you want more in-depth information, I think you should watch somebody else's video about recombinators, or you can read the Reddit post, which I'm going to link in the video description. The recombinators were introduced first in Sentinel, and now they've returned with the Settlers of Kalgur, and they're very powerful because it allows you to create items that were not possible to make in leagues before. If you want to create a mirror tier item, chances are you're going to have to use recombinators because it's the best way. The way you recombine, first you need to go to King's March, upgrade your town until you have this recombinator, and here it will ask you to place two items together to create a new one. The item that you create will have properties from the items that you sacrificed. You need to place items from the same category. For example, two wands or two scepters together, two body armors together. There are some exceptions. For example, you can combine a body armor with evasion with one that has energy shield. You can combine those, but you cannot transfer modifiers that are specific to that base type. For example, you cannot put spell suppression on an intelligence base. In the past it worked, but now it no longer works. You also cannot combine a wand with the body armor. I think everybody know that. Now, it's very... To summarize this, when you are recombining items, you want to have as many prefixes and as many suffixes as possible. And the way you ensure that you will only have the modifiers you want is by having crafted modifiers, 3 crafted modifiers, with some betrayal crafted mods. I'll show some pictures later on, maybe you will understand better, but the idea is if you have 6 modifiers, if you have as many modifiers, there's a higher chance that your item will have more mods. If you look at this picture, you can see that here it goes from 1 to 6. Let's just say that you craft 2 wands and both of your wands have 3 prefixes. Then you're going to be in the case at 6. So the item that you will recombine must have at least 2 prefixes, but most of the time it's going to have 3 prefixes. There's a 72% chance that it will have 3 prefixes. But if the ones that you combined, one had only 1 prefix and the other one had 3 prefixes, then you would be at number 4. So there's an 11% chance that the item you will make will have only 1 prefix. There's a 59% chance that it will have 2 prefixes, and there's a 31% chance that it will have 3 prefixes. The idea is try to have as many prefixes as possible, but you don't want to have random prefixes because you don't want to break your item. You want to have the good modifiers. The way you do that is by crafting. You can have up to 3 crafted mods and prefix betrayal crafted mods as well. This one right here. So let's just show you on a scepter. Usually every item that you are going to recombine will have veiled modifiers, and these veiled modifiers also can be crafted. Some of them, most of them, I guess, but they are a bit weaker, and the item that you will recombine can only have one of these crafted veiled modifiers, or can have one of these metamodifiers. So you cannot recombine an item and have both a metamodifier, which is going to be these ones right here, together with one of these crafted mods. It has to have only one. Also, when you are crafting these mods, make sure that the betrayal crafted mod that you will combine will not interact badly with the item that you want to make. For example, you go here and select the method exalted orb, and let's just say that you want to create a scepter for righteous fire that will have this tier 1 of damage over time multiplier, fire damage over time multiplier. Make sure that when you craft 3 crafted mods together with the betrayal mod, you don't craft something like this. Like cold damage over time multiplier or chaos damage over time multiplier. This is a veiled crafted mod, that betrayal crafted mod that you can put from the bench, but if you put this on your item, it will block other modifiers like fire damage over time multiplier, physical damage over time multiplier. So make sure you double check before crafting so you don't break your item. And this is how you craft these items. If you are doing something, some modifiers that are very easy to achieve, like for example tier 1 intelligence with tier 1 strength, you don't need to make your item like mine. But since mine is, for example, this one is very difficult to obtain, it's like 1 in 4,000 alteration to get, it's very difficult to obtain this modifier. You want to use, can have up to 3 crafted modifiers so that you will guarantee your item would look like this. The way you make an item rare with only one modifier is by making it rare and then using orb of annulment until you have only that modifier. So let's show you in the emulator. If I want to have this scepter, let's just say that I buy this scepter and it has a bunch of these mods. The way I would do it, I would use orb of annulment until it removes those modifiers. However, if your item looks like this, and let's just say that instead of this fire damage, it had spell damage. Because spell damage has the tag of caster, what you can do in this instance, you can go to the bench craft and craft cannot roll caster, and now you can use orb of annulment, and it will make sure that it will not remove this mod right here. There's a 50-50 chance that it also removes the cannot roll caster mod, but it will not remove the spell damage. So the same goes if the modifier you want has the tag of attack, for example. Anyway, I want to show you these pictures. Maybe it's going to be a bit confusing. I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible, but hopefully you will understand. After all, this is how you craft high-end items. It's not something very basic. So we have these scepters here, and you can see that the total number of prefixes, this is 1 prefix and 2 crafted prefix. It's going to be 3 on this item, 3 prefixes on this item, and 3 prefixes on this item as well. So we are in this case at 6. We have very high chances that our item will look like this, and keep in mind it can have only one of these modifiers. So if it goes with 3 prefixes, then it must have one of these crafted prefix together with the other 2, because it cannot have 2 or 3 crafted prefixes. This cannot exist, can only be 1. And then for the suffixes are going to be empty because it cannot exist with these mods. If it goes for the suffixes first, because the order is going to be random, it can either choose prefixes first or choose suffixes first. It's random. If it chooses suffixes first, then it's going to have 3 crafted mods, and for the prefixes, it cannot be any of the betrayal crafted mods because they cannot exist with 3 crafted mods. This is the rule. And it's going to give you an item that looks like this, but instead of attacks with this weapon, we'll have 3 crafted mods, and this is how your scepter will look like. Again, another example with suffixes. you're going to have this item. This, when you combine an item that has two prefixes of the two of the prefixes that you want with two of the suffixes that you want, there's a chance. So you count this. There's a one prefix, another one, and another crafted prefix. So now you have three prefixes on this item together with two suffixes. And the second item will have three suffixes and two prefixes. So you are going to be at 5 prefixes, 5 suffixes. And so you're going to be at this. There's a 43% chance that it gives you 2 modifiers, and there's a 57% chance that it gives you 3 modifiers. So let's look again at this photo. Here, if you get really lucky and chooses the suffixes first with 3 suffixes, then that means your prefixes must be increased fire damage and all spell skill gems, because these crafted prefixes cannot appear with 3 crafted mods. But also you can be unlucky and choose your prefixes first, and can be only, let's just say that it chooses, because there's a 43% chance that it gives you 2 prefixes, and it gives you 1 crafted prefix and 1 prefix of those that you selected. So this is a bit unfortunate, but you can use this for later on, crafting later on. Now, if your item has 4 modifiers like this, and the way you are going to and you try to go for the 5th mod, again, you can get unlucky and end up with an item that looks like this, but you can again use it for later crafts. Again, you have to restart, and this would be like the best outcome. And if you have this is the best outcome, and you end up with an item with 5 mods. But let's just say that you have this scepter right here. How you would go about crafting with this scepter, because you can use it for later crafts, right? You are going to use a scepter with 4 mods, but also that doesn't have the mod here. So the prefix, you can see that this prefix, it's not on this scepter. And now you are going to have 6 prefixes, 6 suffixes, and there's a higher chance, there's a 72% chance that you will end up with a scepter like this. Anyway, I know it's confusing. This is the best I could to explain suffixes. The idea is have as many prefixes and as many suffixes as possible. And remember that meta modifiers, the item that you recombine, can have only one, either meta modifier or betrayal crafted mod.